Hello everybody, it's Elephant Eric, and I went to Legoland last weekend, so I thought I would talk about my favorite rides in that park. These are the top 10 rides at Legoland Florida. I mentioned last video that I really enjoy this park, mainly because of my bias towards Legos, and I have a few rules before beginning. First of all, no water park rides. Secondly, two rides, the Great Lego Race and Battle for Bricksburg, recently got revamped from some previous versions, so I'm going to base it off of their newer versions in this ranking list. Other than that, let's jump right in. These first two, 10th and 9th, could kind of go either way. They are very similar rides, but number 10 is Boating School. Boating School is a fun ride, the controls are fun, and when people crash and you don't and you can pass them, that's really fun. There's theming, but not a whole lot, and that's really where it falls short compared to number 9, but nonetheless, it is a very fun ride. Okay, number 9 is Driving School. I put this one above Boating School because it's a bit more of a novelty, more of a classic. It's the one I revisit more. And because it's not a set path, you can really go in a lot more different directions. There's more theming. And even though I'm still too old for it, and I'm now, legally able to drive, I still try to sneak on by lying about my age. Don't tell any employees that I said that. Number 8 is Mia's Riding Adventure. This is the only LEGO Friends property that I like. It's a Zamperla Disco and feels a bit more thrilling than some of the others. It's larger, more well-themed, less painful. I think it's slightly better than Pipe Scream at Cedar Point. So this is a very fun ride, more thrilling than others, and I really enjoy it. This will shock some people. Number 7 is Lego Ninjago The Ride. A lot of people like this a lot more and would rank it higher, but I have quite a few problems with it. First of all, there's really no story going along with it. It just throws a bunch of enemies from the TV show, which I did used to watch, into the whole thing. There's really nothing to follow except for the final boss, the Great Devourer. The animation's only decent, and the whole idea of using motion controls, while very sound, the controls are pretty bad. It's like playing Skyward Sword with Ninjago characters. But nonetheless, it is a fun ride, and I always go on it when I visit the park. Number 6 is Battle for Bricksburg. You may notice that the right picture has eagles from Lego Chima. That's because this used to be a Chima water ride, and both of these rides are exactly the same. You are in a boat, you can go to either side, you shoot water at the ride, and people can shoot water at you from off of it. However, this would be higher if they hadn't rethemed it for the Lego Movie world. Quest for Chi was really well themed, and all the theming fit together. The giant mountain spraying water in the sky, it really fit. But when they changed it to Bricksburg, it still kind of looked like the Chima area more than a city. It still had the audio and the visuals, but a giant octopus spraying water is not as cool as the rock in the sky thing. So while this is still a very fun ride, whether you're on or off of it, I don't usually ride this one when going to the park. Number 5 is the Great Lego Race. This one's really tough to rank. It's a Wild Mouse, and that's not a great coaster model. However, it's probably one of the best Wild Mouse coasters out there. Right up there with Fly at Canada's Wonderland, and that's pretty much all. Quick note, Coast Rider at Knott's Berry Farm, while smooth, seems kind of slower than the others. But anyway, this ride is really fun. More thrilling than most Wild Mouse coasters, longer ride experience, and I enjoy it. The new theming is really, really fun. It's now Great Lego Race, and there's virtual reality, and the whole idea is you're racing surfers, pirates, mummies, wizards, and trending people, I guess. So you had the virtual reality helmet, and the station's well themed. But the problem is, while the VR is really fun and silly and interesting, and the ride's very thrilling, they don't go well together. I don't like VR coasters because on a Wild Mouse you kind of get thrown around a bit more if you can't see where you're going. So naturally, there are a few problems with this, but nonetheless, it's a really fun ride and definitely one of the best in the park. Number 4 is the new LEGO Movie Masters of Flight. This is basically Soarin', but I like it a lot better than Soarin'. Soarin' is visually impressive, and that's all I can really give it. This ride tells a story, is much more fast-paced, doesn't have the visuals quite as down as Soarin' does, but it's more interesting. The story is that master builders have a competition where whoever makes the best flying vehicle becomes the master builder. And then there's a Duplo invasion throughout all the worlds, and there's LEGO friends. And the ride tells a story with it. But the thing that really makes this ride is the humor. The instructions video seems like it was narrated by like The Odd Ones Out. You should check him out. He's really funny. And another thing is that during the ride they have many callbacks to the movies, Spaceship and all that. It's really funny. And that's just what makes this ride so interesting. 3 is Lost Kingdom Adventure. This is one of my favorite shooting rides ever because it's so fun. There's no screens. It's all statues, and they're not made of Legos, but they do look like Lego characters. There's an underlying story, and there's really a lot of different rooms, very good theming. And the thing is, this is the ride because it's so close to my home. I really focus on strategy, and I'm really good at it, and that just makes this ride all the more fun. It doesn't have quite as amazing visuals as that of Wonder Mountain's Guardian, but it's a really interesting ride. It's really fun, and I think I'd put it over nearly any ride at Universal Parks. Number 2 is Coaster Saurus. It's a wooden coaster by a manufacturer no one cares about. I don't even know its name. And it's the most thrilling ride in the park. Good airtime, somewhat short ride, but nonetheless, a back row ride is pretty thrilling. And there's a little bit of theming going on. It's a very fun, thrilling ride. It almost gets the number 1 spot, but there is one better ride. And before I say that ride, I have a few other rides I'd like to mention. Flying School is a Vekoma suspended family coaster. And the weird thing is, I like Flying Ace Aerial Chase unlike other people. I don't like this ride though, it's a bit rough. Aquazone Wave Racers is a pretty fun, speedy ride with good theming, but it's a bit too short. Safari Trek has some good theming, I like the Lego animals and all that. However, the cars are really painful for anyone taller than 4 feet. Unikitty's Disco Drop is a fun new ride, it's small but decent. And the Royal Joust is like Safari Trek, but a bit slower. And number 1 is the Dragon. This is the best ride, hands down. It's not quite as thrilling as Coaster Saurus, but it offers a long ride experience. And the back row ride can pull some good G's on you. And there is one strong airtime moment. But what really makes this ride is the great theming in the first half. You go through rooms like some night room, jousting, throne room with the king, some small village area, Merlin's room, and you get to see Smaug basically, and he breathes actual like mist at you, and it's a really fun ride that mixes roller coaster and dark ride really well. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Check out my friend channel M&M. She's my sister, and she would appreciate your support. Also, comment any new ideas you have for videos. Next time, I think I'm going to talk about Cedar Point again, but I'm not sure. I'll keep you posted. See you next time.